Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our virtual assessment for the qualification of contact center services. So let's proceed. First, kindly make sure that you have completed checking your attendance. So you have to log into your BSRS account and you should see there the confirmation that you have been marked as present for today's session. So these are the examples of how can you be sure that your attendance has been confirmed. Moving forward, let's start. Why do you want to complete this assessment for the contact center services? Some of you might say it's because for the employment purposes, and some of you for promotion, maybe for those who are currently teaching and you need an additional certificate for promotion, then this is going to be the best option for you, because this is a national certificate, and also for additional credentials even to those who just graduating for those who just graduated in college or in senior high school. So this is also the certification that you will be getting will be a good credential as a backup of your educational background as well. All right. So once again, we are having our contact center services NC2. This is the qualification that you are taking up. And the institutional assessment that we are taking today is that the indicator that you pass or you could be competent or not yet competent. So let's proceed. So there are three units of competency that will be discussed during this institutional assessment. So we have three parts, meaning for every core competency, there will be assessments, and each core competency will have three parts of the assessment. Let's proceed first. What are those competencies that we have to discuss? The first one is the competency about to communicate effectively in English for customer service. And we are all aware that working in the BPO entails about customer service, and you should have effective communication. Second, you have to perform the customer service delivery process. So, based on what you have learned, what have been discussed or taught to you from the previous days, you should be able to apply this customer service delivery process by following a call flow. And the third is demonstrate ability to engage customer, not only just a usual or the regular kind of customer. It's actually about handling a difficult customer. What kind of attitude or behavior you should be emulating whenever you are handling or facing a difficult customer. So what are the tasks to be performed? First is you have to perform the service delivery process with AER. AER stands for acknowledge, empathize, and resolve. And you should also provide the correct answers to the questioning tool as part of the oral questioning or the interview part. So that's the second part. Earlier, you will be doing a mock call for the UC2 and UC3, but for the UC1, according to the according to the study guides, the demonstration for the UC1 is actually a demonstration of a persuasive speech. And here we go. So here's how it would happen. There will be a written exam. It could be at the beginning of the assessment or after the assessment. And second will be the demonstration, and there will be an oral questioning or the interview part. And the result could be C or NYC. It could be competent or not yet competent. So going back for the written exam, it will be a CBT or computer-based test. It's actually embedded in the LMS or learning management system that we have been using all throughout the course. It could be through Moodle, Google Classroom, or Schoology, depending on the institution where you are enrolled to. So for us here with Hezekiah, with HBTTI, we are using Google Chrome as our Google Classroom rather as our LMS. So as I was saying earlier, for the first part of the UC1, the demonstration is about delivering your persuasive speech following the three C's of communication. And what are those? It has to be clear, concise, and compelling. And of course, the UC2 and UC3 are about mock call. UC2 is about a mock call for customer service, and the UC3 demo is about mock call for technical support, basically with troubleshooting. Alright, so these are the samples of questioning tools that you will be answering for the oral questioning or the interview part. And definitely you will be rated. These are the sample rating sheets that the trainer that I will be filling out as you do the demonstration and as you answer the questioning tools. So the reason why I will be quiet, I won't be allowed to speak with you or engage with you or to answer your questions during the assessment is because I am doing the documentation. All right. So what are the do's and don'ts during the assessments? We should definitely practice career professionalism and observe occupational health and 5S. Although we are just doing a virtual assessment, you should still observe proper dress code. We are not allowed to show off our skin because our assessment is being recorded. So you don't want to see your videos wearing an outfit like for a bedroom outfit or for an outfit that's just you regularly wear. So might as well wear at least a business casual attire. And knowing that we are doing the assessments virtually, still you are not allowed to conduct any gaming. You are not allowed to engage with any gaming activities or even streaming. And no video or screen recording allowed. Most importantly, you are not allowed to eat, drink, smoke, or even vape during the assessment. So the assessment will only run for maximum of 30 to 40 minutes. So just hold it for the time being. After that, you are free to do whatever you want. All right. So there are reasonable adjustments, or what we call reasonable and allowable adjustments. What are those? These are the situations wherein you are allowed to delay your assessments. First is the medical condition. In case on the day of the assessment something happened, like you've had a medical condition, just let me know. Just let your trainer know, and we will reschedule your assessment. Second is the recall of prior learning or RPL. If you have already had experience with the BPO, say you've been working in the BPO for at least 6 months or more, please let me know because there's a specific or there's a special arrangement for you. Weather disturbances are also qualifier for reasonable and allowable adjustments. Definitely, if there are weather disturbances such as typhoon, storm, or even outages of our internet connection or even the electricity, then we can also adjust and reschedule the assessment. Other emergency, it's gonna be about life and death scenarios. Definitely, we will we consider that. And other matters. Those are the errands or prior errands that you have confirmed before our assessment day. So we can make adjustments for that. Just let me know. Just let your trainer know or the administrator. And we are more than willing to reschedule your assessment. About the confidentiality agreement, of course, all of you should observe strict confidentiality and the results will be announced after the assessment. When we say after the assessment, it means that after everyone has completed their assessments, not only you and your partner or your buddy. So it has to be everyone in the class must finish the assessments before we actually announce the results. So what about those candidates who got a not yet competent rating or NYC? You will be given for a you will be considered for reassessment. It will be available when you are ready to take the institutional assessments. Again, it will be under internal arrangement. And yes, you will be reassessed on the task that was marked not satisfactory. So we have three UCs, right? For example, you passed the UC1 and the UC2, but you failed the UC3. That's only when you will, that's the only topic or it's the only competency that you will retake. No need to retake the first two that you have passed. So In any case, or in the event that if you fail in two consecutive reassessments, you are subject for retraining. However, it won't be under the scholarship anymore. It might be under the paying class. So I really hope that you'll give your very best so that you won't have to attend the retraining. Okay? If you're not satisfied with the result, if you think that you should you should pass but you still got an NYC, we will accommodate an appeal. So you just have to write a writing addressed to the training director within the day. And your e-certificate will be issued to your email. That will be upon the release from the provincial office. And we will also notify you. Our training school will definitely get in contact with you once it is available. Same goes with your allowances. Do you have any questions so far? So if none, good luck. Let's proceed.